8 years ago, I went to school to be a mental health therapist. And then 6 years ago, I went to school to be an environmentalist. 2 years ago, I went to school to study digital audiences strategy. Hello. We've arrived to the present moment. And you might be thinking, wow, you're all over the place with the career choices that you chose for school. And damn straight, I wanted to be a therapist because when I first graduated high school, I didn't really know what I was going to do. And I knew that, in my own life as a teenager, I had a lot of mental health issues and struggles. So I kind of went for what I felt like would help me heal, but also like I knew a lot about that space because I had been involved in it. I had been taking therapy since I was like in middle school. The first time I went to therapy is because I had a fear of death, and my mom got me a therapist to help me work through those fears and understand that it's just like a natural process of life. And then in high school, I went to therapy because I was just up and down emotionally. I just could not get it together. Like, your girl struggled, okay? And if you're not new to my channel, you know that I've talked about it very openly. But the reason I chose mental health and then pivoted towards sustainability is because at first, like, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm not really interested that much in the mental health space. Like, it's an interest of mine, but I don't know if I want to have a career out of it. And in 2020, when the pandemic happened and we saw how much nature was benefiting from us not being out in the world, I basically was like, okay, I think I want to do sustainability studies. The world is falling apart and someone needs to do something, and I want to be that change. And it was very much like wanting to help others. Like, those two career choices were very much like, I want to help. I want to be helpful. I want to be useful in society, okay? And it just felt like realistic. It felt grounded. It felt like, okay, I can do those things. Like, but then I graduated and I couldn't really find my way. I was really struggling after graduation. First of all, I never even really thought about what I would actually do with a sustainability degree, because I was just so passionate about saving the environment that I was kind of like, I graduated with my undergrad in sustainability, and then I was like, okay, now what? And it was really hard because I didn't have any guidance, and that excitement that I first had about it just started to dwindle down. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't know what I want to do next. And like, the thing is, I've always known from a very young age, I've known who I was. I knew that I loved YouTube. I knew that I loved creating. I loved singing. I loved dancing. I love anything in that creative field. Like, I love it. I feel like that's always something that I've craved to do, but it didn't feel like it was something I can make money in. I have no connections. I don't know anyone who is in those fields and like is like successful at them, or at least at that time, right? And I was just like, well, that's not possible, Janine. Like, that's just not gonna happen. But then I saw a TikTok of Olivia Rodrigo, and she was talking about a book that she was reading when she was recording or making Sour, like the album.
This is my favorite book. I actually don't think that the album would have turned out the way that it did had I not read this book.
And I actually have it right here because I bought it. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I need to get this book. It's called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the author of Eat, Pray, Love, which is a very popular book and movie. There is a part of the book where it's basically dedicated to saying, hey, stop trying to do things for other people, or like, stop trying to make something that you think the world needs. Make something that you want to make. So instead of like thinking, oh, like, what I do has to be productive, or like a certain audience like has to like it, like, no, just make things for you. What do you want to do? What do you want to make? And I had never really thought about that being an option, truthfully. I was like, again, I was always like looking in these fields where I was putting others first, and because I had anxiety over not doing something productive in the world. But then I was depriving myself of like actually enjoying what I do on a day-to-day basis, which is really weird to think about now, like that I was like so hard on myself because like no one was asking me to do this. Like no one was asking me to like try to save the world. Literally no one. My mom has always told me like if you're happy and healthy, that's all I care about. She never really pushed me to go to a certain career or anything. She was really supportive in like anything that I wanted to do. Like if I wanted to be, I don't know, like a nail tech, she would have supported that. Like if I, wanted to move up in management at a Starbucks, like she would have supported that. Like she was just like, as long as you're mentally good and you're happy and you're healthy, that's all I can really ask for. And I feel like that's definitely rare, right? And I love that she gave me that freedom. I didn't have any external pressures. I was just putting this imaginary pressure on myself to do something productive in the world. And I was like, well, no one's asking this of me. So why am I like doing this to myself? And it's because I had like an anxiety about not doing something productive for the world, for like the greater good of society, like I felt like I had to contribute something. But when you really think about it, art is in itself its contribution. Like whenever, at least all the friends that I have and like the people in my space, I feel like most of us, like when we need an escape, when we want to turn off our brain at the end of the day, like we look towards movies, we get on TikTok, we watch fun little videos, we escape into art to make ourselves feel better for having a bad day. And like having this realization, I was like, oh, I can do what I want. I could do what I want, right? So I went back to school and I majored in digital audience strategy. Hello, now we're here. And that was my master's degree. And I got a job basically as a senior engagement specialist. And on the side, I do content creation because it's something, again, I'm really passionate about. So I feel like a lot of my time is just in this, but like it doesn't feel like a lot. Not like with my other degrees where I was constantly like, I'm losing motivation every second that I'm doing this. Like, I don't know, like that fire in me that kept like coming up, but then dwindling down, like content creation, like that, it has never died down like that. Even bringing out this microphone, I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't touched this in a while because I used to have a podcast. I still don't know if I'm going to revive it. It's called It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect. But I was spreading myself a little thin because now that I have a big girl job and having a podcast and a YouTube channel and constantly posting like short form content on Instagram, TikTok, and Shorts, I was like, okay, I'm like spreading myself a little too thin right now. But even then, I was just like, I'm still happy to do this. Like, I want to continue doing this. And I also struggled with this idea that there isn't room for me in this space, which is like, I feel like that's a really understandable fear, like, oh, like why would I do it? There's so many creators that are way better than me and more experienced. Like, why would I do it? Well, the book Big Magic also talked about that and touched about how there's room for everyone. Like, if you think that you're crowding up that space, you're not. Is your ego that big that you think that you're taking up this whole space? Like, no, there's room for everyone. And not everyone is trying to do what you do. There are some people that just cannot speak to the camera and are just introverted and like don't want their lives out there for like the public to know. Not everyone is trying to do what you do, and that relieved a lot of anxiety because I thought that we all had this repressed creative side that like we all want to do creative things. I actually found a TikTok on this. I'll like play it. But I really thought that everyone did, and maybe a lot of people do, right? I feel like everyone wants financial liberties to do creative things and fun things that are like entertaining to them. But like not everyone is trying to do this exact thing what I'm doing, like putting my life out there, talking about my experiences, making fun girly videos. Like not everyone is like trying to do that, and that's okay. Like if everyone did the same thing in society, like trust me, it would be a very mundane life that we live. But the fact that we all gravitate towards different things, like that's a good thing. Like not everyone is trying to do what you do, girl. So yes, there is room for you in any space. I don't care if they're saying job market this, like this and that. Like, there is room for everyone. And some people do need to look towards others to feel like they have a purpose in their career, and that's okay. Like, I'm thinking of like nurses or anyone in the medical field, really, any type of service, like customer service. I know there's people that struggle with that internal battle of like, I don't have anything that I'm like crazy passionate about, I just care about people. That's also okay. Again, like, if we all had the same interests and all did the same things, like, it would be a very boring world, and we need everyone to pursue what they want. Because tell me why I was making myself miserable doing these jobs that like I just wasn't fulfilled in. I was like looking at the time constantly, like, when is it time to go? When is it time to go? And sometimes when I'm like editing now and like videos that I actually enjoy, I'm like, I lose track of time. I am in like a flow state. I love it so much. I'm just like, I'm in it. Like, obviously it comes with like its struggles. It's not perfect, but the fact that it like I still am doing it because it like fuels me so much. And like, I can't imagine not doing social media anymore, to be honest, or like not making anything. I just can't imagine a life because all my life I've been wanting to pursue this, and I just kept shoving it down, like not allowing myself to actually indulge in it. If you're dimming your own wants and needs because you think that's what you should do, you're definitely selling yourself short. And I know it's like, it's easy to say. It's so easy to say now that I'm like on the other side of that struggle. But maybe you didn't even realize that you had that internal struggle until you listen to this. Sometimes you just don't see it until someone else says it. And you're like, oh, wait, I relate to that so much. I actually really relate to that. And I feel like if you are aware of it, but you just don't know where to start, and you don't know if you should start. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like you have to hit like a wall. You have to get to a point where you're like so tired of like not living the life that you want to live. You have to hit a little bit of a rock bottom, I feel like, to actually make the switch. Because it took me being at a job that I was miserable at. I got that job and got this new apartment because it like matched with like my pay, but I then quit that job because I was like, I'm so miserable. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I had to figure it out because I had signed a new lease that was closer to this job, and I was living alone, and it was expensive. It was like $1,700. And I was like, I just can't afford it, period. So I had to figure it out. And I was like, you know what? Like, I've been so miserable at this job, and I'm just miserable in general because I'm just doing things that I'm not interested in. And that was my wall. That was my rock bottom. And I was like, okay, like, fuck it. I'll go into this. I'll get this master's digital audience, and like, I will start making content. And that's what I've been doing since then. And it took me a lot of time, a lot of school, a lot of student loans to get to where I'm at and actually pursue the things that I care about. So if you're watching this early on and having a realization, you're welcome. I had to go through all that to finally be like, girl, you can do what you want. Trust me, no one cares. No one cares in the best way. Like, no one cares. Just do what you're interested in. It's simple as that. I was not making any money until like 2 years in. It gives me hope that I'm doing something right, because for the longest time I was just making content and I was like, I felt like it was just going into the oblivion and no one cared. To be so real with you, I was like, this is like, I'm not making any money from it. I still have my 9 to 5, obviously. So like, that is just it's paying the bills. But it took 2 years of me just making content every day, like putting that out there. Nothing was happening. I would get like free things here and there, but like, I would never get paid. And like, honestly, like, I prefer to get paid over getting the free things. Like, I want to get paid for the work that I do and the hours that I put into this. It is discouraging. For the longest time I was like, why am I even doing this? Like, no one cares. No one is hitting me up for collabs or anything. So yeah, I was not dreading it because I was like, I still love making content, so I'm still gonna do it. But it definitely felt like, okay, like, when is this gonna pay off? Because I hear people will go years making content and they'll make nothing from it. And I was like, I will probably be one of those people, huh? It's really discouraging, I will say. But like, I knew that something had to happen, and this isn't even the end goal. It's going to be an ongoing process of just allowing yourself to not feel like you have to make things for others, doing something for yourself instead of like trying to be a hero. The best way you can be a hero is by loving yourself and loving what you do, because if you're like a miserable person, like trust me, the people around you are gonna feel it, and they're probably not gonna want to be your friend or be around you because you hate your life. Like, who wants to be friends with someone that hates their life, you know, or is always complaining about work, or is just like miserable, and like your friends are like over here like, bro, like then get out of there, like just do something else. But it's like, no, but this is practical, this is realistic. Like, no, do the unrealistic thing. Especially how the world is right now, you might as well do the unattainable, unrealistic thing. I'm so serious. Like, at this point, it's so unserious. The path to get there is never going to look the way that you thought it would, and you're just going to have to embrace the unknown in that. I've really, really embraced this mantra of like embrace the unknown, because every time I picture something in my mind of something like I want to accomplish, it never looks the way that I had thought about it. And I have to like embrace that, because it always looks a little bit different from like what I pictured in my mind. But that's just like the unknown. Like, you make plans to go to a festival and you have a certain itinerary. Like, you can think about like the itinerary itself and like how it's going to go. Life just happens, and sometimes things get backed up and things change, and you have to really just like be okay with it's not going to go according to plan all the time, you know? Embracing the unknown. That is my new favorite thing. I even have it as my wallpaper. Where's my phone? Oh, it's charging over there. But I even made it my wallpaper. I'm like, I need to embrace the unknown. The unknown can have a lot of spontaneity in it. And like, I love that. I love that life is like that, because sometimes I'll have like the best time without expecting it. It'll be like the nights that like I don't want to go out, I don't want to do anything. That's when I have the most fun, because I'm like, I wasn't expecting any of this. And like, sometimes having certain expectations like will kill the vibe internally, you know? Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.